to deny their conventional appearance but to highlight their lack of ultimate, independent solidity. Quantum physics, in a different vein, departs significantly from the classical notion of an objective reality composed of entities with predefined properties. Phenomena such as superposition, where particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously until a measurement is made, and the observer effect, where the act of measurement inevitably influences the outcome and the state of the observed system, suggest that reality at the quantum level is fundamentally indeterminate and contextual. The properties of a quantum system are often probabilistic and become actualized, or definite only upon interaction with a measuring apparatus or a wider environment. The parallels here lie in the shared challenge to a simplistic, fixed view of reality. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes the crucial role of mind and consciousness in constructing our experience of the world. The categories and concepts we employ actively shape what we perceive as real. Quantum physics, from an empirical and mathematical standpoint, demonstrates that the act of observation is not a passive reception of information but an active process that is intertwined with the properties of the observed system. Reality, at its most fundamental observable level, appears to be probabilistic and relational, rather than fixed and independent of the conditions of observation. However, the distinctions are also clear. The Buddhist concept of illusion, Maya, is primarily concerned with the cognitive and affective delusion of inherent existence and permanence, which is seen as a root cause of suffering and a barrier to liberation. Quantum indeterminacy, on the other hand, is a feature of the mathematical formalism of quantum theory, describing the probabilistic nature of physical states and the outcomes of measurements, without necessarily carrying the same soteriological or ethical implications. A common thread that seems to run through both frameworks is the suggestion that reality is not a static, pre-given collection of things, but rather a dynamic process or a field of potentialities. Sunyata, particularly in its positive formulations as openness or pregnant void, points to a ground of being that is rich with potential for manifestation. Similarly, the quantum wave function, for measurement, describes a field of probabilities, a superposition of all potential states a system could be in. It is the interaction or measurement that collapses this field of potentialities into a specific, actualized outcome. This shared emphasis on potentiality over fixed actuality represents